Her grandpa died mysteriously back in 1966. For years, that was all Shauna Ray Christensen knew about her grandfather, Grant Strong.
Christensen never knew that her grandfather was one of the victims of 2 serial killers, and then she got a letter. For every crime, there's a story, and the truth matters. Here's ABC4's Marcos Ortiz with tonight's Justice Files.
It was 40 years later that Shauna Ray Christensen came into contact with the man who killed her grandfather. It was the first time she learned the truth.
Literally just that. I had asked about Grandpa, and she just said he died. He was a taxi cab driver, and he got shot and killed on the job. That was it.
For years, Shauna Ray Christensen yearned to learn how her grandpa, Grant Strong, died. Years of relentless searching on the internet went nowhere. And then, one day, she learned his fate.
At first, it was like a shocker that it had come up so quickly under Utah, and that it was such a bigger deal than she had made it seem, because she had said it seemed so casually at the time.
But Grant Strong was one of 6 people murdered during a 1966 crime spree by 2 cousins. 3 others were wounded during the week-long rampage in Salt Lake County. Walter Kelbach and Myron Lance were finally arrested after an alert patrolman made a traffic stop.
I went to the driver's side where Kelbach was sitting and ordered him to put his hands upon the steering wheel. He didn't act at the first time.
Where was your weapon at the time?
It was in the side of his head.
Kelbach and Lance were convicted and sentenced to die. But in 1972, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled the death penalty unconstitutional.
Neither one said that they were sorry, and they're not. So it's too bad they didn't carry out the death penalty.
In 1992, both men appeared for a parole hearing for possible release. Kelbach didn't say anything. Lance was different.
There's no possible way that I'll ever be granted a release, and if I was in their shoes, I'd feel the same way as they do.
Their parole was denied. Both men were never released from prison. Kelbach died in 2018, Lance in 2010. But a year before he died, Lance wrote this letter to Christensen, Grant Strong's granddaughter.
Where they were both very cold and very proud of what they'd done. The letter from him, that was different. There was like a sadness or a darkness I thought I saw in him, more so than Kelbach.
And then she responds to Myron Lance's letter. That story tomorrow. For the Justice Files, Marcos Ortiz, ABC4 News.